The answer lies in the statement you read, that it clearly shows that I always believed in pivoting my career. So, starting from urology to transplant surgeon to an administrator, and thereafter I thought of relocating to United States and getting into the field of robotic surgery, and then did my business management degree, and now I look after foundation, use my domain knowledge, at the same time involved in the management of robotic centers across the world. Well, as you would know that the Vattikuti Urology Institute was also funded by the foundation. So that's our flagship institution. So the objectives and the mission of Vattikuti Foundation is no different than the institution. On the contrary, quite a lot of foundation work I have to do at different institutions and mainly Henry Ford Hospital. It would be a very unfair comparison if I try to recall the fellows or residents who worked with us of Indian origin, but because number one, the biggest problem in comparing is that only top few are able to get to United States, particularly in urology. Extremely small number of people, and they are handpicked, and they are already very talented and competent people here with a large experience. However, what I feel on my own as well as with other surgeons who move to United States is that they get an environment, they get very stimulating and performing peers, which sets their target out and high, which we don't see here in majority of the institutions. So we have seen once they come to that environment, they see people performing, and then they are second to none. They take a little time to catch up with, but then they perform extremely well because stakes are high. Once they go to United States, they burn their boats in India. And if there is no guarantee in United States till you achieve your target. So nobody would commit anything. You may get an entry as a few, but then it depends on your everyday performance. There is no historical benefit of what you were. The question is, what did you do yesterday? Indian surgeons are creating knowledge, but I won't say the same for dissemination of knowledge, because they really learn on every patient to improve their techniques to benefit the next patient. But the number of publications which could carry this benefit to the international patients are very, very few or minuscule of what they do. So I think we are at a stage in India when we have to think in terms of adding academics to the large volume of patients, maintaining databases so that the benefit could be reached to the larger parts of the world. The quality of outcomes they should have the outcomes. Our biggest problem is the follow-up, and it's not from the doctor's point of view, but our patients culturally, I'm not talking of elite cities, but the patients also come when they have a problem. There is no culture of periodic follow-up. There is no culture of preventive and promotive care and health checkups. So obviously, they are at a disadvantage. And once you are talking of quality, then you have to show consistently that the patients have been longitudinally followed up to really show that their outcomes are long-term and durable. Well, this argument doesn't hold because when you are talking of providing the state-of-art care to a patient, it's your problem how you do it. I certainly agree that our OPDs are swamped, uh, we have large volume of patients, in patient-physician ratio is extremely poor, but still view from the point of view of a patient, we can't give him an excuse that because I had so many patients, so I missed your diagnosis, because for that patient, that is the best chance. Now, easier said than done, but we'll have to adopt the techniques. And one of the major technique I would like to, say, we'll have to change the way we function. And the major change I would recommend is that you have to take care of the opportunity cost of the time of a physician. We have to train paramedics who can do most of the jobs for the physician. We have to bring in automation despite its heavy establishment costs in order to make sure that, like most of the follow-ups, routine follow-ups could be done through a telemedicine station, which would save time. So I would say that if we really weed out 50 to 60% of work what a doctor should not do, we would be able to provide better care to the people who really need it. Vattikuti Foundation is committed to bring in minimally invasive techniques like robotic, which is the state of art, but we are not ending at robotic surgery or Da Vinci robot. We are consistently looking at the new technologies in incubator because, as you know, that it is of extremely high value for a cancer patient for two reasons. One, his total recovery or outcome would depend upon how completely the cancer has been removed without damage to the normal parts of the body, and which can be done by robots, and there would be other future imaging techniques built in with the robot which would consistently work with the surgeon to give him accurate information in terms of where the cancer is and where there is normal tissue. That is one of the things which cancer surgery would do. And second thing what I wanted to say was that the cancer patients in India are in poor performance status. They are not as well built as they are in the United States. Hence, added surgical trauma also leads to a lot of post-operative mortality and morbidity, which by the use of techniques like robotic surgery, we would be able to operate on every patient, almost every patient who needs surgery. Future is great because India, we are late starters, but India is known for its character that we are not leaders, I'm sorry to say. We follow, but we are not laggards also. And then once we do it, because already you see that the tier 2 and tier 3 cities are asking for robot. I think the future is very bright. Only thing is the affordability of robot, which has been considerably reduced than what we brought in 2009-10. But still, it is certainly not within the reach, and that's why I would recommend government institutions or the public institutions should really have these robots, and they will be able to bring down the cost to meet the requirement of a common man.